This discovery, Adam, it's big. They'll want to know how I found it.
We're standing with Mary here in the Square Enix booth, and it's a very loud booth.
Yes.
Which leads us to think of the Deus Ex players, and thankfully they've got headphones on so they can get any of the writing that you've been doing.
Yes, yes indeed. The headphones are very vital in an environment like this at E3.
So how would you say that, what you want to achieve with the writing and the narrative in Deus Ex Human Revolution?
Well, one of the things that I want to achieve as a writer in games is to really immerse players in a game that is meaningful and that gets them thinking, especially in Deus Ex, gets them thinking about things. Why are they doing the things that they're doing? And also I want them to really feel that they have an impact, that they are embodying the character and embodying that universe, and they are making an impact on it. And the decisions that they're making are affecting the storyline on a personal level and on a higher level as well.
So it's a classic series, of course, but we're getting a reboot of the series and a new main character. What can you tell us about Adam Jensen and who he is?
Okay. Well, Adam Jensen is a private security specialist who is working at a company that makes the mechanical augmentations that everyone is now using to change their bodies and improve their abilities. And it's at a time when people are just starting to debate that whole thing. And Adam himself has not yet decided how he feels about the issue. But at the beginning of the game, when his company gets attacked, he's almost murdered and he's forced to become augmented and thrown right into the heart of it. So he's really a guy who's kind of struggling with that issue. And the way he decides to resolve that struggle is really up to the player.
Like I mentioned, this is a reboot, so you don't really have to tie it up with anything of the previous games, but I'm sure you've looked at the previous games and taken it. So could you give us any examples of things that you wanted to bring over to this game?
Well, the story does take place 25 years before the original Deus Ex. So it's kind of hard to bring a lot in from the other games because you're thinking, well, all those characters, where were they 25 years ago? Where was I 25 years ago? And but at the same time, you want to establish the credibility of the universe that exists in the first game, and you want to lay the seeds for it. So it's a lot of fun putting in a lot of references and a lot of things that as players who are very familiar with the game will find and go, oh, I know what they're talking about. That is so cool. And players who haven't played it won't feel left out because they're still getting so much of the universe.
Could you give us a brief view of what players are experiencing here at E3?
Okay. On the show floor, what we're showing is one of the first missions in the game, where Adam has been called. It's after the attack that almost killed him. It's about 6 months later, and he's now fully augmented, and he's brought back to work because his company has been attacked this time by people who are anti-augmentation and are trying to bring the company down. And they're holding one of Seraph's factories and the workers in it hostage. So Adam is sent in there to recover some top secret information, a prototype, and he's also sent in, if he can, to save the hostages. So your role at this point and what people are playing on the floor is that first mission of encountering that and finding the first threads of conspiracy.
I've played the mission, and something that struck me when I played it is the level of detail that's gone into creating all these environments and all the little things you can look into and sort of take a look at and all that kind of stuff. So it really does come across as a labor of love.
It really is. I think for everyone on the team, we really wanted to create something that felt real. And we always talk about how we went so far as to create 100 different brands in the game and logos for all those brands. So you'll see all that in the game. And from a writing standpoint, for example, every computer in the game has emails, and every computer belongs to somebody. And when you read those emails, this person may be no one in the story, but you get a sense of that. And it was part of the fun of envisioning this world and bringing it to life.
What kind of challenges does it bring to, because I understand this is going to be a pretty long game. You even gave a preview version where people got to play 10 hours, which is normal length for a game. What kind of challenges does that pose for the writing team?
Well, I think for the writing team, first of all, dealing with a story that will be entertaining for a good 25, 30, 40 hours of gameplay is always a big challenge. And then dealing with a story that changes according to how the player plays is another one. Keeping track of all the different ways the story could play out is a big challenge. Luckily, I had a team. I wasn't the only writer on the project. I had a team of about, when all is said and done, there were about 9 contract writers who worked over the course with me. And all of them bring a fresh voice to the universe, which is fun.
Because what you don't want is you want your player choices to matter, because otherwise they're kind of pointless.
Yes, it's very important to feel that I think the whole point of Deus Ex is to feel that you're doing the right thing for you, and then to actually discover someone else did something totally different that you never saw and say, wait, I want to try it again, and to feel that you're making a difference and that the world is responding to you. And if you want to play as a killer, go play as a killer. It's not how I play. If you want to play as a stealth person and be nice, you can do that. And it's all about playing how you want to.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This ends now. You do know more than you've told me.
Some people will be left behind. It's evolution.
You've got to help me. No one will be left to tell the world what happened.